interviewing. Okay. I never knew it sounded the
That was
same.
the first time I've never heard that before. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, but back to what I was saying about you with interviewing John Netto and some of the other unknown market wizards. And again, for the listeners, for the members, the teammates, the Unknown Market Wizards is Jack Swager's latest book, in which he interviews longtime professional traders. Now, these are not your social media traders. These are real traders. These are guys that are in there. They roll up their sleeves and they trade. They're excellent interviews. And Ray and JJ's have a bunch on their Confessions of a Market Maker podcast. I strongly encourage you to listen to them because it will get you into the mindset. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, of what professional traders think like. And I'll be honest with you, it is totally opposite of even what we have in our own rooms at times. Just a laser focus on themselves and their process. So yeah, I love John Netto. So that's something that you got out of him, about that with
Yeah,
the
well, I
Black
mean,
Swan events.
honestly, I'm just grateful to have the chance to talk these people, and because I get to ask them my own questions, my own personal questions that I have, and so it's like I get a one-on-one conversation. And I mean, especially talking about the market wizards. I mean, we're talking about the best traders in the world.
Right.
And so yeah, I would be a fool not to capitalize on that type of opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you mentioned before, you questioned me. You said, well, even you would say that you need to be constantly changing. Oh yeah, absolutely, Ray. Like I said, I don't ever even want to profess that I'm anywhere near them, that level quantity of trader, and it's for one reason. They've been doing it for decades. I've been trading for a decade, but only profitable for 8 years. And we'll go into my background once we start the 12 p.m. session a little bit. But you have to change what worked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what worked possibly last month. And again, guys, we're talking equities now. I cannot comment on ES or futures because I do not trade ES futures. God bless you if you guys do, because that's a very, very tough market to trade and profit in. So my hat's off to any of you guys doing that. But for equities, you definitely, and we use scans for this too, right? It's constantly changing, right?
Yeah, well, I would imagine futures do too. I mean, like all these concepts we talk are the same concepts. Think about like when I do the podcast, like I don't differentiate when I'm talking to a futures trader or an equities trader. Yeah, maybe the nuances, but the general principles and general theories
Oh yeah.
apply throughout everything.
No, I mean, obviously it's not. I tend to agree that your guests, are agreeing to that.
Everyone
But
agrees. Everyone agrees. Like anyone with a brain agrees. Like that's not even like I'm saying. I don't even. It's not an opinion. That's a fact. It's
yeah,
just
no. So really, what I'm, like I lean to, and for those of you in the equity room, hey, shout out to the live trading room desk folks out there. You guys keep me honest all the time. But Ray, remember how we were working projectile longs and projectile shorts, and now all of a sudden we got something called a lunchtime scan through lunch or the
yeah.
final drive scan. All this stuff is because we're changing to the changing market conditions, right?
Hmm.
you know it's 12. Hey guys, you want to take this? We'll take the chat over to the dgen trading room. What is it called? Trading lounge.
Trading lounge. Yep.
All right guys, so if you're on mic, questions, and Ray, can you monitor the questions too over in
Yeah.
the trading lounge dgen room?
Yep. Yep. We'll do.
So what was I saying?
We were talking about changing with the market. You were talking about how we were doing projectile plays, and then now you have developed a new afternoon strategy.
Yeah, I think really what I'm getting at is, and your guests are the same way, and the people that I associate with, right? I'm a member of the Palm Beach Hedge Fund Association, and what I mean by that is not to say, hey, look at me, I'm this so-called elite person or anything like that. I'm doing it more from a business development perspective, but I have access to the folks that you guys call the they. They are doing that. They are moving the market here. You know, I actually get to speak to them and ask them questions like, are they really doing that? And what I get from them is the markets are constantly changing. An example, outside of these OTC pink sheet stocks, the scam stocks, which still exist, okay, for the legit companies out there, they have compliance, right? They have very, very strict guidelines and compliance that, you know, not everything is a scam, because folks are not gonna risk their jobs and their 2% and 20% of the profits that they're making, meaning the big money they're making, just to scam people. Now, it happens all the time with the low float stocks, OTCs, China stocks. So don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about them. That's very real. And we try to eliminate those via scans and via our trading. But what I notice in our room sometimes is everything's a scam, and everyone is looking to blame other people than themselves for their own trading.
Yeah.
And what I notice from the people you interview, Ray, and correct me if I'm wrong, they just focus on themselves and their processes and their procedure. Any comments on that?
Yeah, no, I think I really liked the post that you had um, in reference to what you're talking about, to people using the word they. I think what I think about is to add on to what you said, everything you said, true, absolutely. Then I also think of just like the psychological aspect of it, is it goes down to being either an externalist. You're being an externalist. You're blaming outside of factors, as instead of looking inside and asking yourself what you could have done better, and that you're the one who's making the execution. You're the one who's making the trade. It's up to you to, it's no one else's fault. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I think people can fall into this like lull of like, how JJ's experiences were, and apply it to every situation, right? When every like situation is unique and different. And then that JJ was dealing with these like low float penny stocks. And so yeah, I guess
The true scams,
the true
absolutely, yeah.
scams, right?
And he educates the team very well on those types of stocks. But what we do, at least in equities, Ray, is we try to eliminate those stocks, whether it be via our scans or from the
Well,
stocks
I
we
try and
trade.
short them. I mean, if I'm doing anything with them, I'm trying to short them.
Right, right. But what we do is we acknowledge that they exist. We just don't acknowledge that they, we look for more good structured stocks. Where I'll give you an example. Um, Part of my background, guys, is I've been trading for 10 years, 8 years, the past 8 years, profitably. Now, how do I define profitably? I had to pay taxes the past 8 years on my capital gains. Okay. So it wasn't my full 10 years. My first 2 years, I lost money. Okay. I struggled like most of new traders, struggle early on for various reasons. And so for the past 8 years, okay, that I consider myself somewhat being profitable. Before that, I was in corporate America. And why is that always important for me? Because I was at a high level, all right, a senior level. I was, and some of you in the equities room know of a company called Gilt, GILT, okay, a publicly traded company, all right. They're based out of Israeli. I ran their American division, but I sat in those meetings with the CEO when we had to give out stock options. Okay. We had to determine which employees would get stock options, which employees wouldn't, which executives and CEOs would get, what you guys called S8 shares. And the one thing that you guys don't know, and it's a big misconception, is, and I discussed it with JJ, is that not all S8 stock is free. Now, most S8 stock for the scam companies, the low float companies, are free. Okay, no question about that. Okay, they're true scams and true pumps and dumps. But a company like Gilt, we would give stock options, like the stock options I got at the time, and I was senior level at the time. Okay, the stock was trading for $8. I got stock options for $6. And the reason being is they wanted to give me a discount but all right, from the $8, but they wanted me to incent me to work hard and my team to work hard over here in America. So the company's stock could go from $8 up to $20 legitimately by making money for the company. Okay. And then I would be able to profit. So when the S8 filings were filed, my stock options for $6 were filed. So, and that was for the majority of our companies. So not all stock options are free. Okay. Scam companies, I will tend to say yes. Legit companies, no. Now, of course, they're all at a discount, but never once were we in that executive meeting with the CEO saying, let's scam people. It was the complete opposite. It was like, we have to stay totally legit because of compliance, because we didn't want to be accused of inside information or manipulation, because we all were getting big salaries. And not one of us was going to risk our big salary over manipulating a stock. Now, why am I saying this? Because we have to stop as a group thinking everything is a scam. Some, yes. And we try to eliminate those scams out of the marketplace, you know. And Ray, Ray, shut me up anytime, Ray, because I'll just go on. Okay. But I'll stop right after this. All right. I've been getting messages, and I held a training session with a member yesterday. Some of you are losing a shit load of money. All right. And some of these messages to me, and I'm not, I apologize if anyone that I've talked to is offended that I'm bringing this up. I'm not mentioning names, obviously, but some of them were very desperate. Like, it was a good chunk of their money or retirement accounts. And it dawned on me. It's like, shit, what JJ, Ray, and I, and Chris, and the rest of the room are doing and saying affects how people trade in their livelihoods. So that stuck with me is like, shit, we have a responsibility, okay? A responsibility of helping members. Now, members got to help themselves, don't get me wrong, but some of these that are paper trading or trading just one micro or just trading a $10, just putting $10 in the stock. Some of you, are just joking around too much. There's nothing wrong with joking around. We do it in equities. We do it in ES. We do it all over. Don't get me wrong. We want to have fun. But for some of you, maybe our room's not for you. And what I mean by that is people are here to make money and not just to fool around and joke around and everything be, oh, those ghouls or those were scammers and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I'm like, you do that shit in the equities room, we're going to be, guys, what are you doing about it? This is the rules of engagement. These are the rules that you chose to participate in. And if you can't combat what you feel is happening in the market, stop whining and stop complaining. Now, I know I sound like an ass right now, so I'll shut up. Any comments, Ray?
No, I think to the whole point to you're saying about like joking and stuff, and it's like, yo, I have a lot of fun. I think a lot of times people take me serious when I'm joking, but at the same time, like, we both have gambled for a living. Like, this is not a joke to us. We understand how serious it is, like, and how every little decision is important and every piece of thinking how important it is. And I think, like, most of you have never done this for a living, have jobs or whatever. And like, this is what it takes. Like, every little decision is important. If you're going to live off of gambling, and I say trading is gambling because it is, right? It's,
But what is
fun, but
statistical
it
edge,
takes a
Ray?
level. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said, but caveat that people are going to think not with a statistical edge. I know what you mean by that comment, but I don't think the rest of the group knows what you mean by that comment.
Well, then explain for me then. Yes. Tell them what I
No,
mean.
gambling with a statistical edge.
Yeah. Well, okay. We edge gamble. We're gambling with an edge, right? I use gambling just in the general term that, like, hey, like, listen, you're like, this is no different than a casino, right? Like, you're coming in, you're placing a bet. That's all I mean. And now to do this successfully for a living is uh really hard. And like every like thing I see people sometimes say like, oh well, I only traded X amount of shares. That doesn't make your decision any better. It doesn't matter how much shares you have on the line, you still took the trade.
Yeah.
And like that's sloppy thinking.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
sloppiness. Like, and so that's what I go. I think most people are too lax in their thinking. I think people think they're above the laws of human nature. And like that right there shows me a lot. Like people are like, oh, they think certain things don't apply to them. I mean, we had that guy Jared Tendler in here, and in my opinion, not enough people took it serious enough, or like listened to it, or took away. Like this guy is
I,
fucking. This guy is like top of the top mental
well,
coach.
Ray, can I comment on that
Yeah,
for a
go ahead.
second? First of all, scintillating, you're absolutely right. And I don't want to get this wrong. We want to have fun in the rooms and we want to have humor. I think you and I were in the room last night and we were having fun. We were joking, we were learning. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this needs to be. What I'm trying to get at is when we cross the line. You know, like when you're in school, you want to have fun like you have with your teacher. You don't want to have the fun like you have when the substitute teacher comes in and the classmates run
Listen.
the
It's not going to
classroom.
be fun. It's not going to be fun if you blow your account up. So, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You guys can have fun, hee hee ha ha. But if you're fucking losing, what are you doing here?
Yeah. So, but
Go,
let
go.
me
You know what I mean? Go to
comment.
the casino or something.
Let me comment
Yeah.
on Jared Tenler because that's I'm so glad you brought that up. That's a good point. We all know about the challenges with emotions, discipline, and those trading issues. Every one of us understand that it's probably not how we trade. The technical part of trading, what gets us is the mental part. Okay, right? I think we all agree with that. All right. Now, the biggest thing I will tell you is Jared's opinion of our room was, Steve, you don't have serious traders. And I'm like, Jared, that's kind of unfair for you to say that because you don't know them. What do you mean by that? He's like, just take note. How many people are going to listen to this webinar and then do the worksheets and then do the homework? Because I'm coming back if you want me, but I'm only going to work with those that have done the worksheets who are serious about correcting their mental trading issues. And you know how many to date, and I ask people to let me know if they're doing it. We only have 7 people out of over 500 members that are doing the work. That's like absolutely amazing, Ray.
No, it is. No, it is. But you know what's so funny is like I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, like, listen, like I'm in the room every day. I'm moderating. I'm on Zoom. You know what I mean? I see what everyone says. And like I know at times I probably come down too hard or maybe challenge people in a I don't know, and it's not like a personal thing. It's just that like if I see something I think people are thinking wrong about, like what do I do? Just not say nothing. It's like, so you guys gotta understand, like this is not a personal. Nothing we do in here is personal. This is all business,
Well,
right?
I'll give
Especially
you,
when it comes to
yeah,
trading. So, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, because it's not because like I don't think people realize. Look, you 7 people did the whole 500 people. 7 people did the worksheet.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I guess all
But
you
think about
guys,
it.
your guys' mental game is all on point, right? You guys have it all taken care of, right?
Yeah. So, but think about that. And Nikki Powell, we'll get to the we'll post that information for you. But it's a good point. Now I'm going to have another example. Yesterday, I appreciate JJ taking the time, all right, to teach folks market profile in the crypto room and working with echo charts. I mean, there are people that want to use market profile as a confirmation in their crypto trading. I think that is wonderful. I think that's excellent. And I'll honestly tell you, JJ is up there with the top 3 individuals for market profile: Jim Dalton, Peter Resnicek, and JJ. And I'm biased. I probably put JJ number 1 in that group for his knowledge of understanding market profile. So JJ's taken his time to do a crypto seminar. And I was in the room, and guys, you were just posting hearsay about crypto just came out of your mind. It made no sense. It just, some of the stuff that you were speaking was so ignorant. Like if you don't understand something or you think something is a scam, or is this or is that or is legit, at least don't post something that doesn't make sense, because we have other people reading the post. Okay. And if we have members posting wrong information, clueless information, some of the information that was being posted, it affects those other members. Okay. And we do have 8 out of 10 members leave the room after 2 months. 8 out of 10 members, okay, leave the room out of, so it's very important if you guys post stuff, at least do the research to understand what you're saying. Those of you, now I would say that's the minority of you. A lot of you guys post unbelievable, great stuff and keep them coming, but you can't, to make a comment, all the cryptocurrency is a scam. Do you know about all the projects? I mean, do you know like what they're doing in blockchain? Right? I mean, you can't just make blanket statements like that. So what I'm getting at is, guys, that tells me you're not a serious trader and you're never going to get this. So you might as well leave the room. If you have mental issues with trading and you're not doing the homework, that tells me you're not serious about trading. You're not going to make it, because very few make it in trading. And I know I'm being an ass right now, guys. And I know, Ray, you were supposed to interview me, so I'll end this. If you want to start making this more lighthearted and ask me questions, I'm game for anything. So, and the room too can ask me questions on anything. I'm game.
Yeah. I mean, I'd really let you guys ask questions in the chat. I mean, I guess you've kind of already went into some of your background. I guess what else? What else do you think you see from the room?
All right, now I'm going to talk about the good. Now I'm going to talk about the good, because it's very unfair of me to be critical when I see so much good. I think first of all, Basic, please, guys, don't get me wrong. It's okay to occasionally joke around in the room. All right. It does relieve stress. You guys use the analogy I said before. You have a really good teacher that's teaching you something in school. Okay. All right. You guys have fun with that teacher, but you're in there learning. Then the teacher's out sick.
Listen, I can't believe we have to. It's not that hard. Listen, you can joke, but be serious with your trading too. It's not hard. I think we're all adults here. You can find a balance. You know what I mean? All right. But just get it. Just know this. This is not a fucking country club where we're just hanging out and talking.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
Like we have sections for that in the room. We're here to show up and we're here to trade. We're professionals. At least like me and Steve are. Right. So like we don't have time for the little bullshit, because we're trading.
All right.
And we're serious, but we'll joke.
Yeah. All right. Now
that's all that needs to be said. We don't need to keep talking about this. It's
all right. Well, you're the host. You're the one.
Yeah. No. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's like
you guys, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me comment, man. Guys, Ray is tough, man. Oh my God. I thought I was tough. Ray.
No. Well, it's all right if you guys want a country club type of environment. Maybe this is not.
All right, ask me a question.
We trade for a living. Like, you know what I mean?
No. I'm not. Okay, guys. What do you think, guys? Too harsh? But I was talking about the positives.
I could give a shit less what people think too, though. But that's the thing.
What, Ray? Ray, you're not being nice to the person you're interviewing. So, okay, tough love. Okay, no, what I'm talking about is the good that I see in the room. First of all, everything Ray says, I agree with. Okay, everything. So, I think the good of the room is you guys. I really like you guys. Some of you are really serious and want to learn. And I'll do anything to help you guys. And I think you guys know that. I'll be also brutally honest, like Ray is with you guys, but I'll do anything to help you. I think what I like about the room is the community, in the sense that we help each other. Now, I can't speak so much for ES, because you guys, what I'm talking about more is how we collaborate, at least in equities. And I sometimes see it in ES. What we do is we share ideas. We share insights. We don't let a trader get off whack. Okay. We bring good setup ideas to people's attentions. We explain why. We challenge people to think for themselves. Okay. And not to blindly follow. And some of my best trades, because I'm so busy in different rooms, I don't have the time like I used to just focus totally on trading, but I still trade. It's the room that is bringing stocks to my attention. And I'm like, wait, let me pull this one up. And I'm pulling it up and I'm like, holy shit, this fits my trading strategy in my trading playbook. Let me play it. And that's the collaboration that I'm talking about in the room. So I really, really love that. I just want everyone to experience that. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, you can't force it on people. People gotta get out of their own ways.
All right, well,
and that's cool. True. No, it's true. Like the only thing that's stopping anyone back from trading is themselves. You need to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And that's everyone. That's me too, right? Like we all get in our own ways.
Oh yeah, and Rachel X is and Rachel is Zilla. Yeah, Rachel. Listen, we love JJ. First of all, Ray does it all the time, right? So I don't think anyone has to worry about Ray on mic. Ray lets you guys know, when the room's not being run the way he feels or we want the room to be run. JJ is such a nice guy. We all know this, and we love JJ. It's just not JJ's personality. Canadians are super nice, so he doesn't. That's why I get upset sometimes in the ES room because I think they just overrun it. One time we had 34 straight messages that had nothing to do with trading. A member left the room and used that as an example. There was 34 straight messages that had nothing to do with trading. All right, during his educational session. So yeah, I agree with you, Rachel. We do need to redirect it. It does start from the top, and we have to set the tone on how we want. We just don't want to get messages that people are losing their family's income. Yeah, that's hurtful. But all right, enough of that. Anyone else got questions? Anything. It could be about non-trading, trading. You guys got me, man. Make fun of me. Yeah, yeah. Speaking facts is a key. So what's the key to my successful trading? Well, first of all, it's one day at a time. But I think the biggest thing for me, guys, I'll be perfectly.
I know what it is. Let me answer it. Let me answer it because like me and you talk trading. We often trade the same tickers.
Go ahead.
And just for me talking to other traders, like in interviewing, right? Like I think like your strength is in your discipline and your like total focus on yourself in your own trading and not caring what anyone else is doing. It's like human nature. I think a lot of times people get sucked up into like, oh, he's trading like this way and oh, this guy's doing that. And it's like I know too, because people like I have made opinions on certain stocks and then people have like backed away or people have taken the trades. And it's like even if I'm moderating, you can't like you still have to focus in on yourself and what you do. And I think you're really good at blocking out everything else, focusing on what yourself. And then on top of that, your discipline, your in your due diligence. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are really lax with their own rules. And I think you're very strict on that and you've honed it over time. In my opinion, that's your strength.
Well, no, I appreciate that. And I would have to, tend to agree. There's some good questions coming in, guys. I'll get to them, and if I forget them, just repost them. Len posted, "How do you overcome trading psychology issues, the mental issues?" Len, let me tell you something. Okay, that was a major issue for me. My first 2 years, actually more than my first 2 years, even to this day, it can be an issue. But let me explain what I had to do. I had to use automation to help me with that, right? And what I mean by that is I could not, even doing the mental homework assignments from Dr. Brett Steenberger, who I know and spoken to many times, and even now with Jared Tenler, I'm like any other person and will tilt, okay, and would want to think the trade is going to come back and work in my way. But what I had to do was I had to use automations, and a lot of you guys in the equities room knows that I use like moving averages, 9 EMA to 20 SMA, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. What I use is irrelevant. It's just I use them as my exit for my stops. So it's like automated where I know I'm exiting my trades. So even if I decided that I was going to move that stop because I think the trade's going to come back, I'm disciplined enough to know that even if I made money on that trade, right, I sucked in that trade, that I can't be happy because of that, because I know long-term, if I keep doing that, I will blow up. Okay. And so for me, what helped me in my automation, what my trading psychology issues was using automations. I used the back-tested trade idea scans to find me these setups. So that would help me. Now, obviously, I studied Steenberger. I'm studying Jared Tenler now. Why am I studying Jared Tenler? I've been profitable for the past 8 years. Ray, you answer that for me. Why am I doing the worksheet and doing all this hard work that Jared Tenler wants us to do?
It's standard. No, I mean, the learning never ends. It never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's simple. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah. So the question is, for me, it was automation, Len. Very good question. All right. There was another question in here.
you maintain a trading journal and or do you post analysis after each trade?
Uh, I recommend it. Do I do it? Absolutely not. Okay. Because I trade so much, guys. I'm a trader. I roll up my sleeves, I get in there and I trade, right? Because you have to understand, since I'm using automation, sometimes it's so quick with the triggers, right? Like what I have instead, and I have a video and I could repost it for you, but it's in the equities video room. It's called If Then Statements in Your Playbook. What I have is a playbook of strategies. So I have a playbook of strategies that I know that if a stock appears with that setup, that I will play it. I don't trade stocks. I trade setups that are in my playbook. Okay, watch that video. But to the point is, if I am sticking to the stocks, the strategies in my playbook, I already know the analysis. Does that make sense? Like I know why I'm entering it. I know why I'm exiting it. Okay, because it's already in my playbook. Think of a sports team that has a playbook and certain plays, right? They don't need to analyze the play after the fact. I guess they could say, well, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. But the reality in trading, it's so black and white. I call it if then statements. If this happens, then I do this. And that if then statements for any trade is for any scenario in the trade, whether it goes good, bad, difference, when I take profits, when I don't. So I don't know if that makes sense. Ray, do you think I answered that question?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Okay. I thought there was another question.
No, I guess the next one is from Harry. And Harry, to be honest, I don't think this question even matters. And I think this trips people up. People always ask, how long does it take to become consistent? It's going to be different for each person. And
Can I answer?
Yeah. And I think, but your answer, but like answering it, all right, go ahead.
No. You comment after I answer it.
I think
Okay.
it's different for everybody. And then like asking people how long it took them to become profitable can like people start feeling like, oh, well, what's wrong with me? Or, blah, blah, blah. And it puts more added stress on it. Whereas everyone's learning curve is going to be different. Maybe some people have more time to put to trading education than others, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to get through to everyone. It's about you. Look inward. Trading is about looking inward, not outward.
Well, I mean, I actually answered that real good. The only thing you answered that real good, Ray. The only thing I will add to that, Harry, I think, and Ray, I think automation speeds up the learning curve. I know there's people out on Twitter or people out there that says, you got to lose for 3, 4, 5 years. And, I think honestly, if you master automation, I'm not saying become an algo trader by no means, but there's 15,000 stocks. And guys, please understand, I'm talking stocks now. The concepts apply to everything. I don't want to offend anyone in ES. Okay. No, that's not my intention. I only trade stocks, so I could only comment on stocks. But I feel that if you use automation, instead of you manually trying to look at 15,000 symbols a day, a night, because there's 15,000 symbols out there to trade, guys, right? Automation does all that work for you. And it gives you the setups that you like. Okay. So I think that will speed up your learning curve. And I'll use an example. I don't know if she's on. I think she was before, but Rachel Ziller. I commented to Ray last night, and we have others besides Rachel, but it's just because Ray and I were talking about it last night. She was gone from the room for about a week. We didn't know what happened. We're like, man, I hope Rachel didn't blow up her account and disappears, because that happens all the time. We really liked her, and now then she comes back and she said she got lost down the trade ideas rabbit hole. And what she meant by that was she was spending all this time studying trade ideas. And I said to Ray, it's not going to take Rachel 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get this. She's going to use that automation to speed up her learning curve. And she's dedicated to put the work in, right? She'd rather put the work in than just to trade blindly. And I think today she's having her best day ever. And I think she's been only trading 4 or 5 months, maybe tops. I'll let her comment to that. So, but yeah, like Ray said, it depends, Harry. Since February 1st. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Any other guys, questions? Anything else? All right. I mean, I'm here. I don't mind just adding a few more thoughts. Yeah, the room's good. Both sides of the rooms are good. Don't get me wrong, man. You know what's funny is Ray, JJ, and I, and Chris Hanks. We're all different. Okay, we all bring different strengths and different weaknesses, and I think that's what makes the room good. Like, you couldn't have four of us like Ray, or four of us like Steve, or four of us like, JJ, and God forbid we had four Chris Hanks. You know what I'm saying? I think we all go crazy. We'll all be in rehab if we had four Chris Hanks. So I think we have a good balance, and our members are the good way. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, guys, we're having a big Las Vegas meetup, September 12th to 14th in Las Vegas, where it's coinciding with the Money Show Traders Conference. Now, why is that important? Because you guys need, if you're serious about this becoming your career, you guys need to start networking with professionals in this industry. This is an opportunity. And since I know a lot of folks, because I've been doing this for a while, I can introduce you. I just think, and you get to meet other members of the room in Las Vegas. Okay. And I was able to manage to hook up with the Money Show to get a certain number of free passes for our members. So if you can make it September 12th to 14th, discount hotel rooms, free passes, an opportunity to meet true professional traders. This is how guys got to start doing. You guys also see that I post online webinars with SPACs, people that are offering you an opportunity to get in a SPAC. Now, I'm not doing this so you invest in a pre-SPAC. I'm doing this to show you how it really operates versus just assuming how we think it operates. Okay. And I do the same thing with other webinars that I post and I get you guys to attend. It's because I want you guys to start thinking like professionals. What's happening in 2021? How is the industry working in 2021? And so you guys can start networking in it if you're going to make this your career. For those of you in crypto, there's a big Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin Miami, next weekend. I know we have a bunch of us going to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to learn a lot of information about that space. So what I'm getting at is we want this room to be more than just us isolating in this room. We want to bring people in like Jared Tendler, but we also want to get us out into the marketplace, so to speak. So you guys really, really who want to make this a career can really feel like you're part of something much bigger than just a trading room. I know I ramble on, Ray.
No, I'm good.
Ray, any other final questions on your end or the room members? Final questions?
No.
Was this helpful, or you guys are like, oh man, this guy Steve's more of a jerk than I thought?
It's fun. It's funny because like I don't think it matters, like because you spoke nothing but the truth. So like it doesn't matter if they like it or not. Like that's the facts of it.
No,
You're a successful
I'm
trader.
58. You're 29, 30. When I was 29, 30, I'd say I'm 58. I got 20, 30. I want God to make sure he's happy with me. I don't have that many more decades left on the face of the earth. So I don't, I do speak the truth. Don't get me wrong.
Well, you care about people's feelings more than I do. I don't like. It's not that I don't care. No, it's not that I don't care about like people's feelings. It's that like I know in what like we're saying is true. And then if it hurts your feelings, listen, trading is not about your feelings. It's about are you profitable or you're not.
All right, guys, Ray. Now, guys, do you want me to share, Ray, room? Think about this. Ray, do you want me to share what I said to you last night about the trading desk? Do you remember what I said to you last night?
About the trading desk?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll let you. Yeah, you can probably say it better than me.
Guys, please drop off right now if I'm going to offend you. Okay? Who gets offended here easily? Please drop off. Okay? What I said last night to Ray and I talk about it that, we don't, as much as Ray says that he doesn't care about people's feelings, we don't want anything Ray does or Steve does to have members leave, right? We don't want that, right? We simply don't want that. But we're not going to kowtow. We have to do what's right so we don't get messages that people are losing a lot of money. So what Ray and I talked about was if we were on Mike Bellafiore's S&B Capital's trading desk, okay, the majority of our members would be fired. not because of lack of knowledge, because Mike Bellafiore from SMB Capital would be get them the hell out of here. You know, they're too sensitive. They're too worried about this. You know, they're focused on the wrong things. Get them the hell out of here. And that's true because Mike Bellafiore and I grew up in the same hometown. I know Mike. Okay. But we're not, right? We're not a trading desk. You guys are paying money to be in the room, you know, so we have a responsibility, and the responsibility is not to treat you like you were employees, but to treat you like you were teammates. So the whole point I was saying with Ray is sometimes we do have to tone down our expectations, at least in my opinion. Ray might disagree, but on the same token, I'm realizing that if we were on SMB's trading capital desk, all right, Bellafiore wouldn't put up with a lot of the crap that goes on. So the real question to the members is, do you like want a trading room, or do you want like a SMB Capital trading desk? You know, and I'm sure half the members would like a trading room. The other half of the members would like a trading desk where they can make money. I just don't know the answer to that. So I know what you feel, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I already said what I had to say. It's not about,
You know, I'm not
not about
disagreeing.
anyone's feelings. It's about, are you profitable or are you not? Because otherwise, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, Ray, you see any other questions? No, in there?
Yeah, I haven't. No, I mean, I don't have any. Is this New Jersey? Yeah, this is Jersey. Yeah, pretty much.
No, first of all, if you're from New York like I am, you don't say you're from Jersey. No offense to the folks out in Jersey. Okay. Shout out to New Jersey. But if you're from New York, you know, we don't, you know, New Jersey, you know, I don't want to say we don't think kindly of you, but you know, you're not New York. I know I'm insulting all my Jersey folks. Don't get the Sopranos after me here, guys. So, the new Italy. uh, you know, so guys, I guess you know, the bottom line is, let's rock and roll, man. You guys are a part of this room. It can't be Steve, can't be Ray, can't be JJ, can't be Chris Hanks. Always coming down on folks. It's got to be you guys taking it seriously, you know, and letting us know what you want, you know, and we'll take it from there. Just to know, guys, you know, DMs are open.
Looks like you got a another question here about transitioning to professional trading. So, did you notice any new struggles mentally once you decided to trade full time and quit your profession? For example, trading with money you want but don't necessarily need is different than knowing if I blow my account, I may not be able to pay the mortgage. Was it psychologically difficult to make the transition?
Oh man! Hey, first of all, and we can end it with this question. That's an unbelievably good question. I don't want to keep you guys much longer. It's past the 12:30. And guys, if you ever want more of these, we can do them. You just ask. Just let Ray know. You know, hey, can we have another talk? I don't mind doing it. We'll record them. I really don't. Okay. Let me answer this question. We'll end it with this. I have nothing but respect for the struggle Ray as a new trader and you guys have all going through, especially the ones of you like Ray that are getting successful. Nothing but respect. And let me explain why. I talked about my corporate career. I was in that corporate career for 23 years. Yes, I managed my own money. Okay. More swing trading. I managed my own investments. I wasn't brand new to trading or the concepts of trading. All right. But my company that I mentioned before wound up getting sold. I did financially very well for myself. Okay. So when I started trading, I had a bankroll. I wasn't trading a small account like some of you. So that stress that you guys are going through, I recognize as something that I didn't have at the time. Now, so when I had two blowups my first 2 years, two horrible blowups. One was a biotech company that I got caught. It ran up. They were going to cure cancer or whatever it was. I bought the hype on phase 1 and phase 2 trials, which were fantastic. And the world was great. I was going to make all this money, even though I bought in at 8 and the stock dropped down to $1. I knew that once they passed phase 3 and went to market, I was going to be rich. Okay. Well, phase 3 came along. A patient died in phase 3. The stock not only did not get approved, the company went to zero. I blew up. All right. I didn't blow up my account because I had savings, but I lost a large chunk of money in it. I swore I'd never do it again. I learned my lesson. How many of us have said that? We learned our lesson. We'll never let it happen again. Okay, no sooner than the following year, my second year, same exact mistake in a biotech company. I made the same exact mistake twice. What I'm saying is, had I not had that nest egg from working, okay, those two trades, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys. So I have nothing but respect for what you're doing. So my advice, and none of you want to hear it. None of you want to hear it. Get a nest egg. Okay. Work a part-time job. Do something like Ray's doing on the side in the trading room, right? To make additional income. He's not going to enrich you doing it by no means. But what I'm saying is have some other source of income coming in to allow you to start trading until your trading gets good enough where you can do it full time. Okay. Where you could say, at least for today, I know what I'm doing and my strategies are working, and I'll stay on top of new stuff for the future. But so that would be my strategy. Some of you are going into trading without that other source of income. So look at that other source of income, whether it be a job or whatever it may be, as part of your trading, that you're going to your job because that's part of your trading, because it's going to enable you to one day, eventually, the market's not going anywhere, right? So one day it's going to allow you to fulfill your dreams. Otherwise, you're just going to struggle, and some of the best traders out there are traders that just went bankrupt, just went broke. They just never had the opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm seeing questions that are saying, what's a good amount? What's your cost of living? You guys aren't asking the right questions. That it's going to be different for you. These are all personalized questions, right? So like
all right, guys, you want to know you guys, I'm not saying this to brag, but I kind of said my company in America was sold. I was a senior level executive. I trade full time for a living now, 8 years.
They're asking because they want to know for themselves. Listen, you got to figure these things out for yourself.
Let me give a template to it. Real simple. Okay. All right. What do you consider yourself a good income? Okay. Because let me tell you something. After 8 years of trading, the joy of trading is not going to be there, guys. I mean, I love trading. I still like it. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But, after 8 years, it's a job, right? And that's one of the things why I have discipline in it, right? You do it every day for 8 years, like anything, I enjoy the money, So the question is, if $100,000, $50,000 is something that you can live on, you got to now add 25% of that for taxes. So if $50,000 is what you can want to live on from trading, you got to make it $75,000 because you got to pay taxes on it. Okay. So you got to get proficient enough where you feel you can make $75,000. Now, an example, are you going to make $75,000 a year on a $5,000 trading account? No way. No way. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So Ray said it best. You're asking the wrong question. The right question is, let me get proficient at trading where I can match my current salary.
You'll know.
If I can match my current salary, for 5, 6, 7 months, then maybe I'm ready to go into trading full time and maybe have a part-time job to take some of that stress off. Otherwise, the stress is going to kill you until you get to the role where after, you become consistent at it. Is that making sense, Ray? I'm not looking in chat, so let me know if that's making sense.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think the way it was always said to me was like, you'll know when it's time. So if you guys are thinking about like, okay, like me becoming a professional trader and trading for a living, you'll know when the time's right.
Yeah, I think that's looking back on it, Ray. I think you're right, but even to this day, right? I have other sources of income coming in. Now I'm older, I understand that. I just don't know if just trading alone is you should always look to diversify and have other sources of income come in. I'm not saying you got to work for the man, so to speak, but you should always be looking that way. Now, Mickey just posted something there, okay? Mickey didn't have to post a dollar amount, but the point where you posted is so true. By you being stress-free, that's going to help you trading. There's no question about it. It's not, I shouldn't use the term stress-free. What I should really use, first of all, trading stressful, guys. Get used to it, right? Trading stressful. No two way. If you're going to do it for a living, if you're going to do it just for fun or on the side, then yeah, it can be relaxing and you guys can have fun. But if you're going to really do it for money, trading is stressful. So you got to get used to that stress. Yeah, I love Mr. Good. Yeah. You hear, see him, right? You'll never see this kind of money if you ask that kind of questions.
Yeah, no.
Work on yourself and you will make a fortune. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, my DM's open, man. I'll tell you if you're full. I'll tell you I love you, but you're full of shit. So, and the guys, remove they out of your vocabulary. They is a way of trying to make yourself sound like you know what you're talking about when you really don't. Okay? When you say they are doing this, they are doing that, they are this, they that, you're really sounding fancy. You might be fooling everyone else that are new traders, but the real sharp traders like Ray interviews on the podcast, they know you're full of shit. Okay? They just totally know you're full of shit. You're fooling no one other than the new traders. Okay. So now I'm not saying don't have a macro level to understand that, okay, this low flow Chinese stock, they might be looking to pump it. I don't mean that. That makes sense, right? I'm talking about everything they. If you find yourself using they so much in your vocabulary, you're just trying to make yourself sound a lot more smarter than you really are. And you're not fooling anyone but other new traders. So with that, any other final questions? Because I have one for you, Ray, if you don't mind.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Guys, first off, Ray drives me crazy. Okay. In a good way and in a bad way. But I've never seen a trader, and maybe it's his professional poker background, okay, pick up trading and become profitable so quickly as Ray. And he struggles. He has his ups and downs. He shares them in the room. I mean, Ray wears his emotions on the sleeve. All right. He's a good guy to network with, is what I'm trying to say. And he knows the struggle you guys are going to because he's experiencing them. He didn't have that cushy job that I had. He didn't have that bankroll that I had. He didn't have the outside source of incomes coming in like I had. So he's been, and you know something, he's been through it just the past 2 years. He's been down and out more than you guys ever can imagine, but he works on himself like you would not believe. That's why the podcast is so good. You guys see the questions he's asking, so disregard. Like I always tell people, if Ray's not offending you 3 or 4 times, you're doing something wrong in the room. Okay. So what I'm really getting at is pick his brain. And with that, Ray, the question for you is, Ray, seriously, what piece of advice, Ray, would you give to a serious now, I'm using the term serious, a serious new trader that doesn't get offended easily and really wants to learn to become a career in trading? What advice would you give them? And then we'll end it.
I think, and it's kind of probably like a chalky answer. And, by chalk answer, it's like just a standard answer, but I mean, it's the truth, right? I think like a lot, like, for me, like, I ask myself, like, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And oftentimes they're like, your strengths lie right next to your weaknesses. And mine, like, I can be like stubborn, but what being stubborn is like resilience. Like, I'm just like, nah, there's nothing else I'm going to fucking do. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And, if you just keep at it long enough, like things start to make sense, like, and like you said, I put a lot of effort into it. I mean, and it's just, and like on top of that, I've been gambling for a while too. This is gambling. So I've had experience. But it's because I've refused to stop. Like you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and eventually you get it.
All right.
So it's a chalky answer. It's a chalky answer, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, I guess as long as you have you know what resources to go to. I guess that's important. Knowing which we know the right resources, right? So ask us the right resources, and then I think alluding also to like your whole bit you were going on with the software. I couldn't trade without trade ideas. You know what I mean? Like we're in the 21st century now. right? Like, go get yourself some software. I'm not saying we have to be programmers and quants, but get yourself some software. Don't make trading harder than it needs to be. Um, and yeah,
No, good answer. And Len has a question as far as psychology room. I thought about it. Jared Tenler told me that would be the worst thing possible. He
yeah,
said,
it would.
Stevie,
Yeah.
Stevie is simply not qualified for a psychology room, and most of the advice that your members are posting in the room are wrong.
Go read some books. There's so many great, phenomenal
Well, let
psychology
me,
books. There's
yeah.
nothing any of us in here can say. Go read the
No,
books.
no, no. But and what I mean by that is people say, well, I am trading so well Monday through Thursday. I want to protect my profits on Friday. Okay. And then that same person the following week is trading horrible Monday through Thursday, yet they trade on Friday. So think about that for a second. You're trading unbelievably well Monday through Thursday, yet you take Friday off because you want to protect your profit. You're actually stopping trading when you're in the zone. You're reducing the risk of yourself making money when you're at your best. Yet when you're trading bad, you would trade that Friday. And what Jared Tenler is saying is whoever is giving you that information, that is the worst information possible. You have to get to the root causes, the root fears as why it is so important for you to have to go into the weekend feeling good about yourself, right? That you don't want to be a 10-year trader, okay, worrying about losing on Friday because you have a wrong weekend. It might be a good short-term solution for a new trader. Jared said, don't get me wrong, but it's not a long-term solution. It's not going to correct the problem. Put these sticky notes on your computer to remind you not to do something. That is not trading psychology. So what Jared said to me, and I'm just using those as examples, there's a ton more. Jared said that's the worst thing to do because if you have a trading room, all people are going to do is they're going to post the wrong information. They're not going to get to the root causes of the problem, which he was right. And that's why we brought Jared in. That's why we're bringing in experts. All right. That JJ, Ray, myself, Chris, right? We're bringing in people smarter than us on the topics to bring in. But your point about like having these lecture to new traders type thing, if that's what you call what Ray and I are doing right now, we can have more of these if you guys want. Absolutely. Maybe not a room, but we can definitely have more of these sessions if you like. So Len, does that answer it?
Just read books. Read.
Yeah.
Read some
All
books.
right. All right. All right. Guys, we now are going to take the live chat back over to the DGen room. I will post some of those fantastic scans that have been working through lunchtime, long and strong through lunch. Word of wisdom, they've been spiking after 2 p.m. So even though you see them and you like them, guys, wait until they consolidate and break out. The long and strong scan through lunch that Ray is going to be probably Zoom screening right now. And then we have the final drive scan that's been really on fire lately. So let's really knock them dead this afternoon. Ray, parting words?
No. I think we said it all.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. 1 second, guys. One last thing to end this.